Forrest Gump's mom once said, "Stupid is as stupid does." And she was right. When it comes to the teenagers we'll show you in this video, that quote fits perfectly. In this video, we'll present to you some of the dumbest things real teenagers have ever done, including insanely brainless crimes that earn them life sentences, stupid mistakes, and much more. Let's start right away with an extreme example of teenage stupidity. The stunt of an 18-year-old. He did something that can only be explained by pure selfishness. The teenager wanted to show off his driving skills to the public and acted as if Florida's highway belonged only to him. All that without even having a driver's license. His own dashcam recorded how he weaved back and forth between cars as if he were a stunt driver in an action movie. In doing so, he caused 2 accidents involving 4 vehicles. But the worst part of this entire stunt was that Robert did it all for one single, totally idiotic reason. He wanted to make a viral YouTube video. He actually uploaded the dashcam footage under the title, "Me Driving Like an Idiot." Fortunately, everyone involved in this reckless stunt escaped without serious injuries. The next story, however, did not end nearly as lightly. Here, a 19-year-old made a reckless decision that had fatal consequences. Alexei Treviso from Artesia, USA, was admitted to the hospital in January 2023, claiming severe back pain as the reason. But she knew perfectly well that her discomfort was caused by something entirely different. Alexei was 9 months pregnant and in labor. She kept that a complete secret because she didn't want anyone to know about her pregnancy, and that was the beginning of her disastrous decision. In the hospital, she suddenly disappeared into the restroom for 20 minutes. When she returned, nurses found the bathroom covered in blood. The teenager explained it by saying she'd just gotten her period. Later, however, a janitor made a horrifying discovery: a baby's body in the trash bin. Alexei had secretly given birth and then thrown the baby away when it didn't start crying after birth. She seriously thought she could get away with it. A police body cam video even shows the moment Alexei's mother learns about her daughter's act. Alexei is now facing charges, including child abuse, resulting in death.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
It
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
scared.
Now, to a case that was just as selfish, since that's often the root of stupidity. But in this one, multiple people were actually put in danger. 17-year-old Zachary Hertzler from Nebraska, USA, wanted to film a viral YouTube video and was, quite literally, willing to go over dead bodies for it. In April 2024, to capture a spectacular train crash, he deliberately tampered with the railway switches at a station in a suburb of Lincoln. By flipping a switch, he forced a train off its track, and he actually succeeded. 2 locomotives and 5 freight cars derailed and collided with another wagon. Luckily, they weren't passenger trains, so no one was injured. However, the 17-year-old caused damage totaling $350,000. And for some inexplicable reason, he thought no one would find out. But now Zachary is facing trial, and he's likely looking at several years in prison. These teenagers also faced heavy criticism. Without giving a single thought to the consequences, they made the stupid decision to drag a young black bear down from a tree in North Carolina just to take a selfie with it. Bears there are actually not uncommon and sometimes wander into suburban areas. But of course, it's strictly forbidden to approach or touch them. After all, black bears can seriously injure or even kill humans. And when it comes to cubs, their mothers are usually never far away. But these teens apparently had no idea how aggressively mother bears defend their young. They can consider themselves extremely lucky that their naive little photo session wasn't interrupted by a full-grown black bear. The next teen, however, can sadly no longer learn from his past mistakes. 19-year-old Cody Caldwell from Fresno, California, came up with an idea that ultimately cost him his life. He had planned to commit a burglary alone at night, but he chose a very unusual method of breaking in. To avoid breaking any windows or doors and leaving behind no trace, he decided to enter the house through the chimney. Unfortunately, that turned out to be a stupid idea because Cody got stuck in the chimney, leaving him with no choice but to wait for the homeowner to return, the exact person he was hoping to avoid. When the man came home, the worst-case scenario unfolded. Without realizing there was a burglar inside the chimney, the homeowner lit a fire in the fireplace. Cody began screaming for help, which prompted the man to immediately call the fire department. They smashed open the chimney to pull Cody out, but it was already too late. He had died from smoke inhalation. In the next case, a fire also became a teenager's downfall. But in this story, while it was certainly foolish, it was also deeply tragic. 13-year-old Timea Landers was making pancakes in the kitchen with her friend when they decided to carry out an experiment. They were quite literally burning with curiosity to see how fast a person could catch on fire. To find out, she rubbed herself with rubbing alcohol and then set herself on fire. Her friend had a bucket of water ready nearby, but neither of them expected such an extreme reaction. The fire spread so quickly across Timea's body that her friend could do nothing but watch. Timea's mother was jolted awake by an explosion and found her daughter engulfed in flames. She was rushed to the hospital and initially had to be placed on a ventilator. She has since recovered and can walk again, but her scars will forever remind her of that reckless experiment. Now let's move on to a completely different kind of action, one by a teenager who was anything but dumb. In fact, 17-year-old Graham Clark from Florida should probably be called a genius. Even at his young age, he was already a highly skilled hacker, but he used his talent in the wrong way. While other teens were pulling harmless pranks, Clark in 2020 took on a project that sounded completely insane. He wanted to hack Twitter. And, unbelievably, he actually pulled it off. Shortly afterward, the media reported that a minor had carried out the biggest hack in Twitter's history. How he managed it is simple to explain. He impersonated a Twitter IT employee and tricked real employees into giving up their credentials. That's how he gained access to internal admin tools and took control of high-profile accounts like Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Elon Musk. In their names, he posted tweets urging people to send Bitcoin to a wallet address, promising they would receive double the amount in return. In total, he managed to steal over $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. When his scam was exposed, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Earning money was also the goal of the next teenager on our list. She chose a similarly unconventional path as Graham Clark. The 14-year-old had apparently heard about how some women were becoming rich through the platform OnlyFans and decided to follow the same plan. Whether the two brothers in this video regret their stupid stunt as well is questionable. The 7- and 9-year-old siblings from New Mexico thought it would be fun to play with a real gun. When they refused to hand over the pistol, their mother called the police. Since the boys were already known to police and had caused several prior incidents due to their behavior, the officers knew the situation was serious. Drone footage shows the brothers passing the gun back and forth while the police repeatedly shout at them to drop it. No one could be sure the gun wasn't loaded, so the officers had to fire a warning shot. In response, one of the boys raised the weapon and pulled the trigger. If the gun had worked, it could have ended fatally for one of the officers. But luckily, it malfunctioned. Nothing happened, and the children were finally taken into custody. Now we'd love to hear your opinion. Which of these actions did you find the most shocking? Do you know of any other crazy stories about teenagers that went completely wrong?